Hey, everybody. My name is Jamie Radiance Moorhead, and I am your host of I Wasn't Taught to Be a Wife podcast. And we are here for another interview, and I am so excited. Today, I have Kendra Shavonne in the building, and she is going to bless us with her testimony. Hey, Kendra, how are you doing today?
I am great. How are you?
I am good. I am so happy to have you. Like seriously, I mean, I was telling you that I loved hearing the testimonies of every woman that has been on, and so I'm going to have you introduce yourself to our audience.
I don't know what I did.
What'd you
Hello.
do?
I was trying to I was in the chat and then I hit the X and it wouldn't go out. And I'm like, oh, I can't see her. Okay.
Can you see me now?
I
Okay.
can see you now.
Okay. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience.
Okay, my name is Kendra Shavonne, and I am the wife of Humbledad. If y'all know him on in these YouTube streets, I am a creator and an artist. I actually am a makeup artist and hairstylist, and I work in production and theater. And I also own a makeup certification school here in Dallas, Texas.
I love that. I'm excited. You said makeup, you said production and theater. So you contract out, right?
Yeah.
Like for like
Yeah.
movies and stuff.
Yeah, movies, TV, mostly like commercials, little
Oh.
like it's a lot of um like companies that will do little video spots for their employees and stuff like that, or symposiums for doctors and different stuff like that. So I'm always in the background like helping with the overall look of different
Of the
productions.
people. That is so dope. I didn't real I heard you say that and then I
Mhm.
was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. You make
Cool
people look
job.
pretty on camera because that's not that's a talent to do that because I've seen not good makeup, camera
Yeah,
makeup, and then I've seen like where it looks flawless and you don't even know the person has anything on.
right, right.
And you do that flawless makeup.
That's
I could
my
tell.
specialty is to the non-makeup look. So I work also with different photographers that work with model agencies and stuff like that. So just trying to get that flawless skin look. I don't feel like makeup has to be overdone. I do
Ooh.
the bare minimum even on myself. Like I do very, very little, but those are the jobs that pay the most, surprisingly.
Yeah, because it's not easy. I think that people don't realize the natural look is probably the hardest look to achieve.
Right.
So it takes talent. So okay, my first question
Okay.
is how long have you been married?
I haven't even been married a full year yet. It will be a year in June. We got married last June.
So congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Okay. All right. So my second question is, did anyone ever teach you to be a wife?
Um, no. No, now that I think about it, no. I learned from watching and basically taking the meat and spitting out the bones. So that's basically how I've learned. And I've read different books. I watch a lot of podcasts. Um,
Me
I talk
too.
to clients and friends that are married and have been married. So from that, I take what I feel like I need to know, and then everything else, I kind of figuring it out on my own here.
Wow. So even now you're like adjusting and figuring out on your own as you go, along with, the podcast and that type of stuff, right?
Mhm.
So we're just gonna dive in. Tell us your story, and you can go as far back as you want to or as recent. Just let the Holy Spirit do what he does
Do
through
what
you.
it do. Um, First, can I pause for just a moment because I realized I did not put my charge. I did not put my.
Yes.
Okay, I'm
Yes,
gonna
you
grab it.
can.
Really, really, it's right here in
Okay.
front of me. Hold on. I was sitting here contemplating. I'm like, is it better for me to go ahead and say something or just let my phone die in the middle of the
No, say something. I mean, I prefer because if you were in the middle of your story and it got good and then
right?
it went out, I'd be like, oh my god, like
I was like, I had all this time to get my charger and just was not thinking.
it's
But
kind of how it goes because you like I told you, I was 20 minutes 30 minutes early. Like I was just like ready. So it's okay. Yeah,
oh, and then I dropped my phone. That's not good.
it's okay. We got this.
We do. Thank you for being patient with me.
Yeah, we're ready for your testimony. So
Okay,
we'll wait.
it's a testimony. It is okay. So, here's the Kendra Shavonne. Instead of who the f did I marry? How the f did I get married? No,
Oh, did you watch that?
I did. I did. I was thoroughly entertained, but I
I
had a different takeaway than some other people. So
Yeah, I had several different. I
yeah,
had yeah.
we'll talk
One your
about
husband said the other day, which was close your legs, and I,
it.
no for real, and
Oh Lord.
I'm so sorry. That just I because I had to say that one more time. That's what I thought
That
instantly.
sounds like him. That sounds like him for sure. For sure.
And then the mental health aspect of the person, but her too,
Mhm.
because she had to have a slight level of delusion to just a little
Scammers,
bit.
scammers usually scam other scammers.
Right.
Yeah,
You
he
right.
could he couldn't have scammed her with what he was talking about unless she was trying to scam too. So she thought that she had found a dude who was willing to do any whatever for her.
Mm-hmm.
She was about to sit there and collect, knowing that she hadn't really done anything in the short amount of time that they've known each other to
Yes.
get those things. And
Right.
she
And she
knew she
kept
was
on
lying.
so you caught on too where she kept on saying, well, he's paying the bills. He was paying the
Yeah, he was
bills.
paying
And I
the
was
bills.
like,
He was still paying the bills, so and he was talking about this $750,000 house. That would have been a red flag. Why are you trying to buy me, someone you barely know, $750,000 house when it's just the two of us? So
I
no.
okay. I just because right now I feel like the people that have sold into her in a way, they're gonna get their feelings hurt because they're being scammed. Like, why are we
At
how
this
many
point, she knows his diagnosis. It's
mm-hmm.
not even something that, his parents died trying to help him. His family told her that, they were trying to seek help for him. He needs to be on medication, all this other stuff. You know this. Why are we treating this man as if he is maliciously doing this?
Yeah.
And,
Oh, see, I didn't even get to hear that part. I didn't. I
oh, she
must
came back with an update.
oh, see, I didn't look at the update.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow. So she knew.
Mm.
Mm. Okay. All right. Well, tell us, tell us your story.
My story. Okay. So, born and raised here in Dallas, from a two-parent household. I have one sister. Um, I grew up um, basically pretty normal for
Okay.
the most part. I mean, every family has their things, but I basically grew up pretty normal. Um, Around my junior year in high school, we moved around a lot. There was a lot of things going on within my family, and
Okay.
I really do feel like my parents kind of like was paying attention to the stuff that was going on with them. They weren't really spending a lot of time paying attention to what I was doing, and so I
Gotcha.
pretty much just did what I wanted. So it
That's
gets
not
tough.
always good though.
No, it's not. No, it's not. But they had given me a good foundation, as far as I knew how to think. I
Hmm.
knew, and even when I made mistakes, I was pretty good at like figuring out how to get myself out of it. So I ended up getting pregnant right out of high school,
Okay.
freshman year in college. I ended up I ended up getting pregnant, and I had a daughter, and
Okay.
so probably like a year, not even a full 2 years after I had my daughter, I moved out of my parents' house, and I've been out ever since, and just out here trying to get it, and it's just worked out for me because I've always had a pretty good business sense. Both of my parents, my mom has always been wanted to be an entrepreneur, was always working towards that. Um, but she had a lot of siblings and older parents that she was doing stuff for too. So I didn't really see her complete things. And then
Mm-hmm.
my dad worked all the time. So growing up, I was in a lot of activities that
Okay.
involved the arts. So dance, theater,
Me too.
music, writing, doing all that type of stuff. I went to all three of the art schools here in Dallas, the magnet programs here. So I went to the arts elementary school, the arts middle school, and the arts high school.
Oh
So
wow, they had you like really fully in there.
I was in that thing, in that thing. So I was fully immersed in the arts, got out of high school and everything, still like, was always at different art galleries, plays, music performances, concerts, stuff like that. That was like my thing.
Okay.
So, and I exposed my daughter to a lot of those things as well. Um, while I was in high school, I learned makeup because I was in theater, and then
Okay.
I switched over to dance. So I started out in the theater program in high school, and I switched over to dance. I was always like an enthusiast when it came to makeup, and this is before everybody thought makeup was cool. So
Right.
I was really into it about how you can transform your face and what is done in theater and TV.
Hmm.
So kept doing makeup out of high school. Eventually, around like 2009, I was like, that's kind of like when YouTube started to like really
Pop
open up
off.
and everything. And I started
Yeah.
seeing like makeup gurus and stuff like that, and I would watch it like obsessively. Um, I never really got into. I filmed a couple videos, but I never really got into doing it, and that is where I kick myself now because I should have sat in front of a camera back then and just put makeup on my face.
You should
Back
have.
then. It's not too late, but it's
But now
that's
you're, yeah, you would have been a part of the start, not
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think the same way about my company because I started when a few companies that hit here recently
Hmm.
started. Like we all started at the same time, right?
Hmm.
And I didn't do what they were doing.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, oh my God, if I would have just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I
I,
get it. It's
I've
a little.
never been the type of person to really like take a lot of pictures of myself and constantly, in the camera,
Mm,
like that's never been my thing. It's
it's
just never been
so
my thing.
it's
But
so
I
much
really would.
harder.
Yeah, I wish I would have because when I started to do makeup and I was trying to do clients, I would do makeup on myself, and that's when Instagram started to like really come out, and I would post on Instagram, and like I grew pretty fast on Instagram.
Mhm.
Every time I would post a picture of myself, I would get a client. So you would think that would have registered, but it did not.
I
But I
get it.
always, stayed booked and busy through word of mouth and reviews and stuff like that. And I was able to build a career from it. So I still did pretty well, but to sit at home and not have to do anything but film all day, like I think that appeals to me more now than then.
Oh yeah, I know
So
once you, yeah, because a lot of them I'm like, dang, they're not doing nothing but just washing their hair and putting the product in there,
yep.
and I could be doing the same thing. Like,
And they've grown so much now that they even barely do makeup tutorials anymore. They're showing their real life. Like, come with me while I go to the farmer's market, and I'm like, I go to the farmer's market. I could totally do
like I go
so,
there.
like, I can do that.
I
Like,
can
why
do
don't
all
I
of
do
it.
that? And so now I'm just like, oh, did I film all this stuff and then I forget to like film the very end of it. So it's like I have all this content with no ending. And I'm just like, if I could just wrap my mind about just finishing, but I'm old school. You know, I grew up in the 80s. So it's like, I'm used to having experience. I'm not used to having a phone in my face and on everything all the time.
And,
You know.
I think about this too. Like I had a client yesterday and she said something to me that made me realize why I don't finish my content either. Cause I'm just like you.
Mhm.
I literally have a bunch of videos that started. I never
Mhm.
get the finish, right?
Yeah.
And she was like, I don't understand these young girls going out here and getting weaves and taking their boyfriends with them and stuff like that. She was like, we like back in my day, it's a secrecy to that. Like
Yeah.
me going to get my eyelashes done or getting my toes done, my man is not with me. When I come back, I need to look like magic happened. But I don't want.
Exactly.
And I feel like I was raised by a woman that thought the same thing, right? So there's a lot of times where I'm filming and I'm like, it's not comfortable
Right.
to me because I feel like there should be a level of like secrecy to
Yeah.
our beauty secrets. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. We were supposed to vlog our entire honeymoon. And you have like us walking up to the, because we did the Virgin Mobile cruise thing, the
yeah.
Virgin cruise. So we're like walking up and driving up to this huge cruise ship, and we're like smiling and everything. And then it's like we're back home. We completely forgot. Like I was like,
Because
he's
you're
like, where's the
enjoying,
footage?
we're enjoying life,
I was
right? Like
like,
but you're enjoying those memories are etched in your brain forever, right?
exactly.
And
Exactly.
you didn't have your phone in your hand, you weren't bothered. Like to me, that is
Right.
so much more significant than what you could have recorded because it's so distracting pulling your phone, like, hold on,
Right.
you
It
know?
gets annoying. And I was just enjoying, being there, being with him. I was like, I don't remember Mexico at all. Like
Right.
I have footage from the Bahamas, but it's still like the ocean and like our toes together and stuff. Like
Oh,
I'm like,
you
we
did
can't
what you
use any
could.
of this.
You did what you could, you know? Finn, like,
So,
we're walking up, toes, the end. Like,
it
we made it.
happened. I think I took pictures of people that we met there. So it's like we did not talk about our honeymoon or like how the food was or anything. And like I watched all these like Virgin Cruise TikToks leading up to it. I'm like, we're gonna do it. We're gonna go viral. I completely forgot.
Like, we went viral in our hearts, like I'm sorry. You thought about it though. It was
I really thought about it. And we had all these plans. I'm sorry, when I laugh hard, I cry.
no, I did too. I got you. So I understand.
I
I
had
understand.
all these plans, and he asked for them too. He's like, "Where's all the stuff?" Like, I said, right now.
Check. No. You didn't remind me when we were there, honey. Like I don't understand. Like,
So yeah, we
oh,
missed all of that. Sorry.
it's okay. No, that was good. That was good because it makes me feel better. At least I know
Oh
I'm
my
not the
god.
only one. Sometimes I always feel like I'm behind on something, and I'm like, well, maybe.
Right. And then I see like these 70-year-old women doing hair tutorials with their gray hair and everything. I'm like, why can't I? I just don't think of it at all.
It's okay. It's okay. So you had your daughter,
Yeah. Had my daughter.
and did you marry her dad or
Not. I did not.
okay?
And
Okay.
it's a classic tale of, sleeping with someone that you didn't know well enough and getting pregnant, and now you're, mama's baby, daddy's maybe. He popped in and out every now and then, and I would have to say, because my parents were so hard on me, and because I have a family that kind of still believes in shame, you don't have no siblings.
That's why you got one. Yeah, me too. That's why my son doesn't have a. That's why he doesn't have a sibling. Is because, like, I was like, I felt shame.
Yeah.
even though I was older when I got pregnant.
Yeah, that they weren't gonna play that. They were like, "We'll help you with this one. Don't do it again." And it was like everything was like, "What you doing with that baby?" And I was just like, "Ah." So I learned. I learned. I did eventually get married to a guy that I used to work with, and we got close, and I ended up marrying him. And just things changed after we got married. Because marriage does put a mirror to who you are. You can't run from it. When you're single, you don't have any checks and balances. You're the only person that you have to explain anything to is yourself. When
Right.
you're married, you have someone that you are responsible to.
Mm-hmm.
And I think during that time, he was used to playing a role. And then once he got with me, it was like, I was like, no, that's not what you said. And I think I
Oh.
went to him. So we ended up splitting up. He ended up, doing some things outside the marriage.
Mm.
And I found out and I was done.
How long did that marriage last?
Not even 3 whole years. And I
Really?
didn't leave immediately. I tried to work it out. I tried
Okay.
over and over again to work it out. And I know myself. And I was like, and I had older women who were like, he's not going to always be that way. They grow out of that and da 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 da. And I'm like, grow out of it? So you mean tell me I have to wait till he, old and decrepit and don't have no fighting him to have him
for,
married?
for him to act right, I don't want it. And
No.
that's what I was trying to, because that the argument out there is that women don't want to stick by men and all of these things. And I'm like, but if he's cheating, I'm just being honest, if he's
Yep.
cheating and he continuously does that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the real major problem is that you're being deceitful. You're betraying me over
Mm-hmm.
and over again.
Yep.
When you decide not to do it anymore, I don't even know if I want to receive it because I don't
Yeah.
like you. You know what I mean?
It
Like,
creates an environment of distrust. And when you don't trust them outside of you, you don't trust them with your finances, you don't trust them to lead you. Like you sitting up in church looking at them like,
because the other night she
talking
was
to
on
me.
there texting that girl, and I seen it.
The preacher say something, he's talking to you.
He's
He ain't talking
talking.
to me.
It don't bother
So
you. You in the house of the Lord and you lie. Like
I noticed that I was mean, like I was getting,
really,
I didn't
yeah.
like myself. Um, and when my daughter said that she was scared of him, I was just like,
Mm, what? Because he would get angry. See, what I notice about men that are being deceitful, they become aggressive verbally or sometimes physically to the person that they have to see all the time. Does that make sense? Like,
right.
because they're lying, and so somewhere there's a conscious in there, but they'll pick an argument with you so that you can they can have a reason or feel better for what they're doing behind your back, I guess is the best way to say that. So I can't believe your daughter said that. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
she told me that she was afraid of him, and I was like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even like you anymore. I'm only doing this because someone told me that I should. That's just,
Mm.
and I'm like, I
But
don't
it's
have,
not
and I'm not gonna get over it. And
because
you're
I
not
don't
gonna do better.
say
It was a list. I was like,
it. So okay, all right, so you left that situation, glory to God, right? And how long were you single before you met Humbledad?
okay, so I got divorced in 2012.
Okay.
I met Humbledad January 2022.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Wow. So you were single that whole time? I mean, well, you
I mean,
probably
I
dated.
dated. I mean, I
Yeah.
had boyfriends, stuff like that. It never went very far. And I have to say, I did have pretty decent men that I dated. Um, it was always something though. It was just always something that didn't feel right. Whether I didn't like the way they parent their child, or I didn't like, if I saw like the little selfishness in them, or, you know, it just didn't seem like they were ready, or sometimes it was me. I just wasn't ready. I didn't enjoy being in a relationship with them. Like I just didn't see
Mm.
the future. And I was cool with being single. I got to the point I was fine with being single. My career was going well. My daughter was getting older. She was thriving at school and her activities and things. And I just did not. I'm not going to say I didn't care. It just wasn't at the forefront of my mind. I was trying to build my career.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I hadn't met anyone that I liked enough.
So, okay, so what made Humbledad different? Like what was it? Because that's interesting because it was such a long stint in there where you were
And
like,
then it was just like boom, 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 boom.
yeah,
And
yeah.
with Humbledad, because I met him. It was like 9 months later we were engaged, and then not even 9 months after that we were married. Like it happened very, very quickly. That's why I say like these guys know, like these men who are like dating you for years and years and years, they know,
Oh yeah. Oh
they
yeah.
know if they
They know
want
that
to.
you're not the one or you are the one. Like they
Right.
know.
And he was very intentional. I would have to say, if I have to pick one thing, it was his mind. Like we just aligned on so many different things, and he was very intelligent. So, um, talking to him, and it was a very, very weird situation because his wife had passed away.
Right.
So I met him probably 6, 7 months after she passed away.
Oh
That's when I met.
wow.
And so it just felt like there's no way like you could be ready to date. And then he was like, there's no way that I'm ready to date, So
Like I'm not sure about this, but
yeah, we met weird. Like it wasn't like we were out and he tried to holler at me or anything like that. He had made a post in a Facebook group that we were both in. It was called Black Dallas, and it's basically people just talking about what's going on in Dallas.
okay.
It was a lot of like hypotheticals, why is it no good men in Dallas? Why is it no good women? And I got on there and I was like promoting my business. Hey, if you're new to Dallas and you're looking for a hairstyle, that's what I was there for. But I saw him on a post going back and forth with a woman, and I ignored it. No big deal. I just, recognized the name. Then I saw he had made a post kind of like piggybacking off of the post that he was getting into with the lady on. And I was just like, I didn't agree with what he said. Um, he was talking about how women dress.
Mm.
How
Wow,
women,
even then, like back then?
even then, this has been
That
five
is
years
so funny.
So he had made a post about women dressing a certain type of way and expecting um, a man to respect them or something like that.
Right.
And my stance was and still is a woman's attire should not determine your character.
Mm.
So I can see a guy dressed with his pants hanging down, straws showing, golds all over his teeth, walking around with a stack of money, you act like you're talking to it. And I'm not going to be disrespectful to him.
Right. Right. Oh,
I
right.
probably won't talk to him, but I'm not going to go up to him and say anything. I'm not going to be like, you got so much money, throw me a couple of dollars. Like, no, I'm going to leave him alone.
Right. And
That's what I suggest men do when they see a woman that's not of their caliber, a woman they're not interested in. Leave them alone.
but but sometimes they still mess with them
Right.
and then they talk about like that. They're like, "Oh, how can you expect a man to respect you when you dress like that?" And I'm like, "Well, why did you mess with her?" You know
Yeah,
what I'm
leave
saying?
them
Like, why
alone.
did you?
There's a niche for everybody. There's men out there who literally don't care if their wives walk around, half naked. I mean, Beyonce's married. Um, there's men who don't care. Russell Wilson and like Sierra walked around with a see-through dress on, and he's still married to her. They had another baby after that. So like,
Yes,
there's
he
people who
loved
don't
her.
care about that. But it's like, if that's something that you don't want, and if that's something that you don't like in a woman, then you don't go after that woman. Find a woman that you like instead of trying to police how other people dress and how other people act.
Exactly.
So that was my stance. And so he didn't agree with that. So we went back and forth. And during our exchange, it never got disrespectful. I never like called him sassy or told him to stay out of women's business or I never did any of that. I was just like stating my points and
Right.
moving on. And so eventually he was like, I see your point. And I was like, okay. And he was
Oh,
like,
wow.
would you mind like having other discussions offline? And I was just like, okay. I wasn't thinking anything of it. I thought that the thread was probably getting long and we had been doing this for like all day. Like,
I got time today. We gonna argue today.
right. I don't even think he was responding to any of the other people who said stuff to him on that post. And
That is
so
so funny.
he had gotten my inbox and he was like, hey, you said you wanted to talk. I'm available later on tonight or early tomorrow. Well, I saw the message, but I was busy, so I didn't answer it immediately because I didn't think it was something that I had to answer right then and there. So he claims that I ghosted him, and I was like, and that's how you know that you're old and you don't know what ghosted means. Ghosted means someone who never speaks to you again.
Right.
Ever, So the next day he was like, hey, you said it was okay to talk. Is it still okay? And I'm like, yeah, I just been really busy. And he was like, okay, when's a good time to call? And I was like, we can talk right now. Just call me through Facebook Messenger.
Mm-hmm.
And so he called me through Facebook Messenger and we were on the phone for like 4 hours that first night.
Wow.
So, and it was like late at night. It was like after 10. So we were like on the phone until like almost 3 o'clock in the morning. Like it was a very long time. And then the next day, it was the same thing, very long conversation. We ended up getting into it. And he was like, I think you're not understanding what I'm saying because it's over the phone. We need to see each other so you can see that I'm not trying to offend you. And I was like, I can understand you're not trying to offend me, but I still just don't agree with you. And so he was like, do you want to go have lunch or breakfast or something? It was like early in the day. And I was like, yeah, we can do lunch. We met up. He acted like he was so nonchalant. And I was just like, why'd you have me come out? But now I know that he was really battling with himself. Like,
yeah,
I'm out with this other woman. Like, what am I doing? And I was just like, you asked for me to come.
Right. But he was like, yeah. The internal struggle,
Yeah. He was very clear. He told me, he was like, I'm not trying to holler at you. I miss really having like these type of deep conversations with a woman, like, but I'm not trying to, get with you or anything like that. And I'm just like, okay, so
that's usually how it goes though, is when they say they're not trying to, they just enjoy your conversation. It just kind of, okay, I got you. That's so funny. You're like,
you didn't want to talk to me. You weren't trying to holler at me. But you went through all my pictures on Facebook.
Come on now. Don't.
I don't know nothing. I don't know too many people just not trying to holler at anybody, but you concerned about how they look.
You just want to make sure that you was really who you was, because that online dating thing, it's a little rough out here.
Right. But he wasn't trying to date. And we didn't, like, when I tell people we met online, but we did not meet on the dating site. Like, I had gotten off all the dating sites because I was having like a hard time. And I'm like, you know what? This is not for me.
Mm-hmm.
This is not for me. I like, when you're young, when you're like in high school, early 20s, that type of things, guys used to like put forth an effort when it came to dating and stuff like that. And it's just so many options on online dating. And I just wasn't feeling special. I was like, I don't want to do this.
Right.
I want to be intentional and very, very kind to me.
And I think that they make you know that you're not special too, like, because there's so many options. So it just, so
you
okay.
Have a great conversation with someone and then they just disappear.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, I don't like sitting around wondering if I did something wrong with a stranger. Like I'm good with this. And
Yeah.
I know that I probably did that to a couple people. Like I went out with them and then I ended up meeting someone that I like more and I forgot to, write back to this person. It was just a lot. And during that
Mm.
time, I was like, because December of 2021, so like a month before I met Humbledad, it was Christmas and I was very, very sad. And I was like, I want this to be the last holiday that I'm by myself, Because I
Ooh.
was just like, just online seeing like the matching pajamas. And we ain't had matching pajamas since, but like just seeing that and seeing like the whole family unit. And I'm like, like, I'm getting kind of old here. Like I'm 40. I don't know if I'm going to have any more kids. That makes me sad. Like
Oh,
just different stuff like that was going
yeah.
on through my head. And I'm like, my daughter's like in college. Am I going to be alone forever? Like, is this my story? And I'm like,
Ooh, honey,
you
like
know,
this is so deep. Okay, go ahead.
yeah.
Okay.
So I was like, I gotten really, really sad that holiday season. And I wasn't on any, I gotten off all the dating sites. And I was like, well, if I want someone, I need to be intentional. And
Mm-hmm.
so I started listening to nothing but love music.
Really? No way. You're like, I
Because
need to
I was
find
a
love
city
back in
girl
my
at
heart again. Listen,
heart.
because
I was, I was hot girl summering it up. I was like, and it lasted until the winter. I was like, I'm just gonna have fun. I don't need nobody. I'm making money. Da, 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 that. That was me. And I was like, I can't keep listening to things where they talk about not needing a man, not wanting a man. I need and I want that.
yeah.
And so I started listening to like love music, in particularly women singing love music to their men. I started listening to old school love music. I want you, can't live without you, run your
Oh
battle,
yeah, like
all
the
that.
'90s R&B. Don't mind
Yeah,
me. I gotta go get my charger now
yeah.
too. So just so you
Walk
were
and
like
talk.
trying to feel that love again inside
Yeah,
your. Yeah. No, I understand. I get it.
yeah. That's what I wanted, and I was like, I need to stop lying to myself. Because I feel like I
Mm.
can't get it or I can't find it. I need to stop lying to myself and I need to just say, this is what I want. And so that's what I started doing. I was like, this is what I want. I want an intentional man. I want somebody who wants me. And so if a guy would tell me something like, oh, I'm just figuring it out. I'm just looking to have fun. I would like kind of be like, well, then leave me alone because I want, you know,
Oh,
and
I'm giving the same energy right now. Really, I shouldn't even be outside. I don't even know why I'm outside again. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
that's where the men's are. The men's are
I
outside.
was, I was in a relationship. We just did not. We didn't fulfill what we had said we were gonna do. We'll just put it that way. So,
Right.
like the other day, I was upset. Like I shouldn't even be outside.
Mm,
Like you hear that moment where you're like, wait a minute. Or I did something that we had normally did together. And I
mm,
was like, we really did life together for real. Like
right.
for real. But
Mm,
and I should not be outside. I don't
yeah.
I don't want to be out here. It's scary.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Shortly after me and Humbledad made it official, a guy that I used to talk to, like
uh,
he would send me like little text messages, good morning, how are you, la la la, and I was sometimes I would answer, sometimes I wouldn't, and this is why I was talking to Humbledad. And one day he hit me up, and I was like, I'm seeing someone. I think it's going to be serious. And he was like, dang, when did that happen? I was like, well, you left me alone too long. And I really do have a let the best man win type of attitude. Like,
yeah.
like
You left me alone too long.
right. And who's sitting around waiting for anybody, not me.
Who?
Yeah. So Humbledad came correct, like from the very beginning. Like when he told me he wasn't looking for anything, I was like, oh, okay. And then I started noticing like he would call every night, you know, and we would have these long conversations.
That's
So
interesting.
I was like, what are you doing? I was like, what are you doing? Because who you're not about to play with is me. What are you doing? I'm like,
I done plenty love
I'm
songs.
not here to be a seat filler for you while you figure out your life. Like, no.
And
I
so,
got
what did he say? What did he say when you said that?
He went
Did
and
you?
talked to his counselor,
Oh,
and
that is so dope that he had like wise counsel though.
yeah,
Like, okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm
yeah.
listening.
So
This
he
is
went
so
and talked
good.
to a counselor, and he figured those feelings out. And then when we went out again, I was like, "What are we doing?" Because I think
Hmm.
we had kissed or something like that, and I was like, "What are we doing?" You know, if we're going to be friends, like we don't need to be spending this amount of time together. You know, and he was like, "Well, I don't want to just be your friend." Like, okay, so
You're like, all right. The love music works. I
that's
love
how it
that.
happened. It just happened. He was afraid. It took him a while. He felt guilty at some point for wanting to move on, and felt like, dang, if I move on, does it mean that I didn't care about her? Or,
Mhm.
we were together for so long, and now here I am trying to like someone else. Like, what is this? So I understood his feelings,
Mhm.
but I understand mine too, and I'm like, I'm a person as well in this as
Yeah.
well, and if you're going to be in it, you need to be in it.
Exactly. But
So
it seemed like he was intentional though from the
mhm.
time you met. And what I like listening to your story, it seems to me that what was missing from the other people is that they were not intentional. That they
Mhm.
didn't kind of know what they
Right,
wanted, you know?
right, and I mean, I always knew I was better than that, and
Yeah.
I'm like, before I met Humbledad, I was like, there's no way. I said I will mop the whole ocean before I let another man play in my face. So I'm like, I'm good. No, gonna have to take this, take this, like all that. Yeah,
But I will say like God was still looking out for you too,
yeah, definitely,
for
definitely.
sure.
Hmm.
For like for the way it happened, and then even whether you realize it, I mean, he was preparing you too in the
Hmm.
midst of all of that. That
Right.
is so that's beautiful.
It's crazy. Like it really is, because like um I got a chance to like really be by myself for a minute,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone had a man but me.
Look at my face. Like I am like I'm
Everybody had a man. I was just like,
you just be
so
looking
when Risa
like
Tisa says, like, is this my time? Is this must be my turn? I felt that I understood what she meant,
yeah.
but at the same time, I hadn't gotten to that point that I was just willing to just accept anything, you know?
Exactly. I'm not there either. And
Mm,
I would probably, like you said, I'm off the whole ocean. I'm
yeah,
not ever gonna
yeah,
be there where it's
yeah.
just
There's plenty of good men out here. There's good men out here, and we have to change our ways. Women need to change their ways. So,
explain because this
um,
is good because what I like about your story is the fact that you had been single for so long, and
mhm,
so you got to experience what outside looks like.
yeah.
Okay, just a little bit. Um, when you say women have to change their ways, what break it down. Help them out right now. Help us in Jesus'
Yeah,
name. Help us.
we have been conditioned to do so much on our own
Mm,
that just the thought of someone telling us what to do, us having to follow behind someone, that just doesn't seem like an ideal situation. And sometimes it's not. Like, we don't always have the best, I don't always have the best reaction. It's not like he's like, okay, we're going to do this. And I'm just like, okay, there's, but at the end of the day, I really, really know that he wants our best interests at heart. I've seen where men have said certain things to women, and women take it such the a different way. And when all they're doing is trying to keep us
Okay.
safe, and like better the unit.
Right.
And I think because women want what they want, they don't necessarily see that as a positive thing.
So give one example of something that you heard a man say to a woman that kind of like has went left when it shouldn't have. Like what a single person has taken the wrong way when a man has given that advice. I think I could think of a few, but I mean
Um,
just
being quiet, quit arguing so much, quit nagging, listen. Um, watch what you wear, how you spend. All the spending is a big thing. It was a big thing with me. I see a lot of men being really, really good with money, and women just as soon as it's in their hand, they're spending it. And it's like knowing when to stop and knowing when to like think of the big picture and actually have a plan. Like Humbledad talks to men about having a plan, before you go entering in a woman's life. What are you going to do with this woman after you get her?
right.
And so we need to have a plan too, and see if your plans align, or if you can compromise and make your plans come together. Um, I was an entrepreneur when I met Humble Dad. I keep wanting to call him by his real name, but when I met Humble Dad, and I made a decent amount of money,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, he could see, like, if you're in the salon all day and he knows how much this costs, and you're doing 5 or 6 people a day, he can pretty much count up how much money I'm bringing in. I didn't have anything to show for it because I was like, my bills are paid. I
And
was
I can
going
spend what I
out.
want.
I
Yeah.
was brunching it up, day partying it up. He was like, I can't afford you.
Because I know I remember like with like my ex, I told him I was like, if there's a stylist that's broke, there's a problem. I
Yeah.
said she's spending too much out of her pocket because we could work one day 12 hours, right? And rack in anywhere between 5 to whatever. I
Yeah.
say the minimum would be 500. Minimum.
Easily.
Okay. And that's
So,
one day.
yeah. When we started to get really serious, he was like, "We need to have a conversation about finances," and I was like, "Oh, do you need something?" He's like, "No, but you still soon." But he was very he was very, very, very good with money.
Oh, where'd you go?
Oh, sorry. I got a text message. Sorry. Okay, so yeah, so he was very, very good with money. And he was like, I just don't think you know what you're bringing in or what you are spending. And I was like, I know my bills are paid. And I had an attitude like, how dare you? Why you counting my money? you
Like,
know.
yeah, no
And
sense.
so he was like, you don't have to show me. He was like, just, pull up your bank statement and look at the amount that you bring in and what you spend out, and then look at what you're spending. And I was like, okay. So I did it, and I was like, I have single-handedly funded Uber Eats all by myself. I was spending so much money on eating out, like kicking it, like
That you didn't even realize. Because I'm telling you,
you
people
get
don't
paid every day,
people don't understand.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I wish I would have known him years prior, and he didn't even like ask to see it or anything. He was just like, you just look at it and you just see what you're spending. And, if you don't feel like you need to make any adjustments, okay. And I did, and I was just like blinking, blinking like Clay off of Love Is Blind, like blinking hard.
Because he was right, and you probably felt some type of way too, like, dang,
Oh my
like now
God.
I got to come back and then tell him he was
Tell
right.
him down right. Tell him that he's right. Like, he's had so many of those moments where I've had to tell him that he's right or that I had to apologize. I have to apologize so much. And being married to him has really, really, really caused me to look at myself. And it's caused him to look at himself too. Like, he's not perfect around these streets, but he is very, very, very intentional and very, very, very committed to our family and making sure that we're good long term.
Wow. Yeah.
And so, yeah, I've had to make a lot of adjustments.
Okay. And I understand too, because when you are, for that stint by yourself, you have to make it work.
Yeah.
Right. And so you develop what you think is a plan, but you like develop a lifestyle that's comfortable for you.
Yeah.
And
No one who would tell me?
who?
Who would tell me?
Everybody
Like,
was benefiting off of
honestly.
you anyways. They were benefiting off of you not
Yeah.
looking in the first place.
Yeah. Who would tell me? Like, no one knew. Like, I never asked anyone for money. My bills were paid. I just bought a new car, was able to pay that, paid my booth rent on time. Like, lights never got turned off. I always had plenty of food in the house. Like, who would say anything? I wasn't in any type of dire need where it's like, girl,
Yeah.
But they can see, and I paid credit cards off and like, like I felt like I was good, but I was spending a lot of unnecessary money that I could have been doing so much more with.
Right. You could have had a 401k that you were investing in, or, like you could have already had your own retirement plan with what you were doing. And I know.
Don't rub it in, Jamie.
I'm sorry. I'm over here like, you know what? When I get off of here with her, I'm really going to enroll. Like, like
Right. But that's good leadership. I wasn't going to church. Like, I knew I loved God, like all of that, but I didn't feel a need, and I had convinced myself that it was okay,
Wow.
And he was like, that's a boundary for me. You need to get, even if you don't go to church with me, you need to be somewhere. Like, that's something that is important to me. And so,
yeah, you look, God sent you a great man.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that means he loves you too, though. Like, that means that he saw that you were a great woman, right? And he was like, she just needs what she's missing.
Speaking. Please.
Oh my God, that is so.
It's him pulling me out the streets.
Over here too.
Come on.
Don't help her, please, sir, because
God wants you to be a wife. You are not a city girl. Say it with me. You are not a city girl.
You cannot be outside no more. And
he was like, I really like your natural hair. And I was like, I'm about to slap a wig right on top of this. He was like, no, just let your natural curls. I'm like,
you didn't know what to do. You're like, I don't understand.
I don't even recognize myself from 2 years ago. Like, it's so different now.
Have you changed that much?
I've changed a lot. I mean, I'm not gonna say I was just like out there bad or anything, but like I've changed a lot. Like, I value different things about myself more. You know, like I've always been told that I was nice looking. My body was, together. All of that. Since I've been with Humbledad, I've gained some weight. We're trying to work on that. But
I mean, that's expected though. Like,
yeah,
right.
That first year, yeah. So I'm working on that. I have my gym clothes on right now.
Okay.
But it's just, the things that I put more emphasis in is just different. Like, I'm online searching where I can serve at church now, you know,
Oh, I love
versus,
that.
you know, spending so much time on other things. Like, you know, I cook every single day, you
Do you
know, and
really?
yeah, and I enjoy it. Like, I like to cook, I'm good at it. And it was just something I just didn't do, or I did like every now and then, you know, but I'm really, really good at it. And I really like doing it. And so it's just this domesticated life, like,
It's different.
it's very soft. Like, I have not looked at a bill since before we got like this whole year.
Look at God. Look
I,
at
I'm
like
like, I don't look at it. He handles everything, you
I'm
know?
waiting. I'm waiting on the day. Do you hear me,
Yeah.
honey? I'm like, listen.
People call it a soft life, but it's like, and it's like I've had to like give up a lot of control. You
Mhm.
know, that was scary at first. Um, but when I gave up the control, I gained security
Ooh.
because he's gonna
Ooh.
cover me. He's gonna cover me, and
You
I
said when
trust that.
you gave up the control,
Mm-hmm.
I gained security.
Security. Yeah, yeah. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to do it. Get somebody else to do it. Oh, him. Okay, thank you.
Oh,
Like,
look
I'm like, all I gotta do is comb these kids' hair and like cook you a meal.
I got you. I got you.
Yeah,
And debate with you, you know,
yeah,
because that's what started the friendship and then the relationship. Anyways, was the fact that you had great conversations. So
yeah.
you keep that right in there, you know,
Hmm.
and
And that was one of the things that helped is because I do listen to him. I might
mhm.
not like it, and I'll tell him like I need a moment, you know, and he's like, okay, take your moment.
Yeah, because it's a
And
lot. If you don't get,
yeah, and I'm like, okay, well, we'll do it your way, you know, because at the end of the day, and I think this is where women have to be comfortable with relinquishing that control.
okay,
If he wants it and you give it to him, he owns it. Okay?
mm-hmm.
If you're saying we need to put money towards this, we need to pay these off, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I want to do this, this, and this. If you take away what you want and you go with what he wants, he has to own whatever happens because we went his way.
Mm.
Whereas
Okay,
if I go this way and he lets me go this way and it goes wrong, he still got to own what I did
right,
too.
because he's the head of the
He's the
household.
head of the household. So I'm going to do it your way, even though I don't agree with you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And whatever comes out of it, it's on you, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And he takes that responsibility seriously. He ain't failed me yet.
He ain't failed you. Look, I had to sit back. Say it one more time so that they can hear it.
He ain't failed me yet.
So, but what I like about your story is that you had kind of you and I don't know if you realize it, but you were prepping before he came. So like you said, I shut down all the sites. I decided within myself I didn't want to be on these dating sites no more,
Yeah.
right? And then you were like, no, I admit to myself I don't want to be outside no
Mm-hmm.
more. I don't want to play city girls no more. I want
Mm-hmm.
what I want. And so you shifted your mindset, right?
Right.
And then you took it back to like the old school love, like when a man was really loving on a woman. So you listen to those songs because that gives you the possibility that there's a man out there who
Right.
really believes in love. And then God was like, all right, here he is.
Right.
And he
And he had
needs you.
lost his love. And like,
Yes.
yeah, think about it. When you lose something, you're like, you think about all the things you could have did differently. You know, from what I know, from what I've heard, he was a very good husband to his late wife.
Mm-hmm.
So even in losing her, he had time to think about, I could have did this different.
Yeah.
I should have hugged her more. I should have, answered the phone the last time she called. I should have did all these things. So he's very, very, very intentional, even in the way that he loves me. Like, we have 5 kids,
Mm.
and it doesn't matter what we're paying for, what we have to get done. He's like, date night. We have to have a date night.
I
Even if we
love
do it
it
at home, we have to have time where it's just for us, you know.
because
And
y'all got kids.
yeah, 2 dogs. 5 kids and 2 dogs is what we have.
Them
Yeah.
2 dogs probably like 5 kids within themselves too.
Man, they are a mess. But like he's very like, you need to feel loved by me. You need to
Mm,
feel, that you are the center of my world. And he'll say it, not the kids, not this house, not our careers,
but
you and I,
you,
you and I, you know. When we're
I
fighting,
like
he'll
that.
be like, it has we
Listen,
have to come, it has to be me and you. We have to come to a common ground. Like,
you need to give a course to young women outside that don't want to be outside no more, and then your husband needs to give a course to men and what intentionally loving a woman look like.
right.
Just something that you should think about. I'm just saying
He keeps
because
telling me we need to do a show with just us two. And I'm just like,
I just told you. Listen, I'm speaking it into you. Come on.
existing,
Yes.
existing.
Here's why. Because there's a lot of women who are outside,
Yeah,
right? And and they haven't reached, or they've reached the point where you were at, but they haven't done anything about it.
because they
Right?
still want to be outside.
They
They want what married women have, plus being outside too, and it does not work that way.
doesn't,
You
right?
have to give it up,
And so
or you have to be outside with your spouse.
well,
Cause we be out there on the dance floor, just looking old.
like, but we here, you feel me? But and men
Oh Lord.
we need to hear from his perspective on what it is to intentionally love, your spouse or your person, because they don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they don't know. And
Mhm.
what I was saying on somebody else's thing was, why does a woman have to get cheated on or lied to or beat up on for a man to learn what love is? Why
You
can't
don't
y'all just know what love is before you meet somebody and do it right? And so
know it, but 9 times out of 10, like even in my ex marriage or first marriage, um, I can look back and see what I didn't do there that I do now. You know,
mm,
so if you look hard enough, and if you really want to have self reflection and really see, because if in every breakdown of any relationship, both people play a part.
oh yeah, for sure.
Both
Like
people play a part.
people don't want to look at that though. Like I could sit back in mine and I could say, okay, in the beginning I was like this, but when
Mm-hmm.
he pissed me off right here, is right here.
Mm-hmm.
This is when I remember even telling somebody, I was like, I'm not doing that for him no more.
Yeah.
Like I'm not doing that, and I'm not doing that, and I'm not doing that because he did this. And
Mm-hmm.
when I
So we're
went to
gonna
talk to
punish
him,
forever.
huh?
So you're gonna punish forever. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was wrong. It was very
Mm-hmm.
not, but again, I had not been taught to be a wife, right?
Yeah.
So, in his, yeah, it's just so much where I could be like, if I wouldn't have gotten so offended right here, things probably could have went in a different route.
Or
And
how
so
about this? Being offended and still extending grace, because we offend God every day.
I didn't know what that looked like.
Yeah.
But again, like you said, with like when you were in a relationship or in a marriage, you start to look at yourself. Like you're able to
Mm-hmm.
see all of you. It's like how much of you do you want to see?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so, and that's when you don't want to self reflect and fix, then it's kind of like you guys start attacking each other, right?
Yeah.
So yes, I
And
think
we do it. We get into it. Like, please, like, listen in the audience. Don't be out here thinking that Humbledad and me are just out here floating in clouds and stuff. We have our moments, but he's very, very, very good about kissing me when he's mad at me. You
yeah.
know, and before he leaves, still coming over and giving me a hug and a kiss,
See,
even when I'm mad. And I'm like, and he was like, "You gonna give me some sugar?" Like.
But see, he even in, and that's why he has to. I think that y'all should do that because I don't think a man understands that if he says, "No, you still gonna give me a hug when I walk out this door," how it breaks down those
It
walls,
does.
fences that we try
It
to have,
does.
you know. Because in other instances, you meet somebody and you have an attitude, and they're gonna have one with you too,
Right.
right? And
And
so,
that's where he talks to men, and people try to say that these men on the podcast don't speak to men. It's like, no, that's y'all don't listen to the part. Y'all only pay attention to the things they say about women. But I know that he tells men, you know, it is your responsibility. You know, women are emotional. You can't get emotional with them. You know, you have to stay level headed. She have an attitude, you can't get an attitude back. She gonna just up her attitude even more.
yeah,
You know,
yes,
so he breaks me down a lot because, you know, I have a personality. I don't know if you noticed.
I can tell.
But he breaks me down. He was like, you know, sometimes he'll just go, Lord, this is the woman you gave me. And I'd be like, yes.
Yes, he gave.
But I also tend to get over things pretty quickly too, so that kind of helps, you know.
Right, yeah, because I'm the same way too, but I still stay offended. Like and that's the thing. So I will still in the back of my mind be like, no, I'm mad, but I'm not mad, but I'm mad. And I was an easy fix. It would be like if you get me a honey bun and a ginger ale, I'll probably like not be mad anymore. And that's too easy. Like I feel like,
and not a manipulative thing, not a, you know, you did something wrong and now I'm going to give you a honey bun and everything's going to be okay. No, like he takes accountability and he apologizes. And if I'm still walking around with an attitude, that's on me.
that is
You
on
know?
me. Yeah,
So
for sure.
yeah, but we work things out pretty quickly.
Well,
And we both have the same type of attitude of like that's my friend, like that's my love, you know. I am wanting to be under the covers versus a pillow between us at
yeah,
all times.
for
I'm
sure.
always wanting to have fun. I want to have fun. I want to be in love. I want to kick it. I want to have a good time. He's the same way.
So
So
y'all
we
have
don't stay in the place long. Huh?
right. The goal is to stay together. The
Yeah.
goal is to be happy even in the dark times, right? And
Yeah.
so because y'all have the same goal,
Yeah.
when you have those moments don't get to take over the
Yeah.
situation.
And we have such a united front, the kids can't even penetrate it.
Like
You know?
y'all like back to back, right? It's like
But we're gonna double team y'all. You can't pit him against me and you can't pit me against him.
that's what
But we
I
gonna double team y'all. We gonna drive y'all crazy before y'all drive us crazy, okay? It's us before y'all all day long.
so take into consideration what I just suggested. Just just take it into consideration. I know it's hard for you with the camera and stuff like that.
I'm
Just think,
surprised I've been on here this long.
I know, because I think I gotta go pick up my son, but I want you to take that into consideration only because there's so many, right? And they're not getting good advice. They're getting advice from Sprinkle, where she said, "Get the bag," or and sometimes get the bag if it's somebody else's husband. You get what I'm saying? So these women are out here, like I'm not gonna get cheated on, but I will cheat with somebody else's husband for their money, and that's the mentality. It's kind of like
Yeah.
what can I get out of the situation?
But
Rather,
she's talking to her audience. There's an audience of women who they're looking for that feedback. So that's why they're taking it in.
there's a
Okay.
lot of them though,
Right.
and it's growing.
It's less than what we think.
You think
It's
so?
yeah. Yeah. It's like I keep on saying like the whole sexy red city girls, that type of thing. It looks like the majority of women are doing that, but come on, let's be honest. My cousins, my girlfriends, they ain't doing that. You know,
No.
like
No.
we see it and we may like, then like sometimes I find myself like bobbing to it and I'm like, wait a minute, what she say? And it's the majority of
You
women
can't
are not.
help it sometimes though, because it be catchy.
It is catchy, but it's catchy for a reason. It's catchy to get into your brain, get into
Like,
your psyche,
yes,
your spirit. It's made for that. That's why they push that. Like, and like people's like, well, there was always a Foxy Brown, and I'm like, and there was always a Lauren Hill, and Lauren
yes,
Hill was getting the Grammys and not Foxy Brown.
right,
Okay,
right.
now these women who don't deserve it are getting accolades for being trashy, and I'm like, and that's not a representation of what women are, especially Black women. You
Right.
know,
And I don't think it's fair that that is a representation that we have. And so again, think about what I said. Because
change the content is coming,
we
especially with
gotta
the modest clothing and
yeah, we gotta change the algorithm. You get what I'm
yeah,
saying? We gotta change it.
yeah, we're gonna change it. We're
So
gonna change it. I just
um,
got to get out of my, you know, nobody wants to see me.
um,
I just don't be caring. I be thinking about other things.
I
Like,
know, but just saying, you gotta what you're looking for a ministry, but there's a ministry in you already.
yeah, that's true. That's true. And sometimes I'm like, oh Lord, like, well, somebody from my past be like, that's not how she was.
And look, he gonna train you to go, and
Yeah.
I'm not there no more. You
Yeah,
get what I'm
I've never
saying?
I've never been wild, but I've always been like accepting, like, I'll be, dance, I'll be out there on the dance floor and everything, and it was fine for me. I'm just not there anymore. And it's really hard, especially with people who knew me, you know. It's just like I'm just not there. I'm
And
not
that
there.
and you're not doing it for them. And if they
Yeah.
come in, that's what the block button is for. That's what the
Hmm.
hide button is for. That's what all those
No,
buttons are
I'll
for.
say like, yeah, that was me. Like yeah,
Yeah.
that was me, in the middle of the dance floor.
Hey now, dude. Hey, cuz
Shoot.
sorry. But I
My husband said I can't dance like that no more.
for him maybe, but not,
Only for him, said.
Oh my god. Okay.
Okay, I'm
All right.
sorry.
This was great. This is
I
this was
know he's gonna be watching this talk about.
well, I'm gonna send you the link so y'all can watch it together.
Okay.
And then you can say, Jamie, let's do a do-over. Or
I know we're gonna run it just like this. Go
yes,
ahead.
run it. Okay, good. I'm glad. And
It
so
is what it is.
it,
It is what it is. He knew
that's
he
all
in
I'm
here.
saying.
Yeah.
But I want you to leave the ladies with something, and men too, because I have men watch this. Actually, what's
Yeah.
crazy is I think I have more men viewers than
Mm-hmm.
I do female viewers, and
Oh.
it's on Instagram. Like I'll have men in there like, I got questions, like I don't like what she's not single, she's married, like
Right.
what kind of questions do you have? But they have legit questions like, how to be better in their relationship. So it's interesting for
Yeah.
me when I see men commenting. I'm like, you got questions?
Yeah.
What? So yeah, what do you want to leave the ladies?
What I want to leave the lady.
What's one thing that you wish you would have known then, that you know now? I guess kind of like to
Mm.
narrow to help you out a little bit.
Stop lying to yourself.
Ooh.
Stop telling yourself that you don't need a man. Like that's just untrue, and that's a disservice to your future husband.
You you just like I don't know. I'm sorry.
Because humble dad, I need you, baby.
That was no
Head
filter.
on.
Like you didn't even just stop lying. Stop lying to
Stop lying
yourself.
to yourself. That's a defense mechanism. It's a trauma response from being disappointed.
Yeah, you're right. You
Hmm.
you are right. Wow. Okay, well don't leave. Let me close out really quick and yeah, I'll be.
Okay.
Oh, wait. One more thing.
I didn't know if I was supposed to say bye or
Yeah,
not.
I was gonna tell people how to support you, follow you, and that and all that good stuff, like your socials and stuff like that. I'm sorry, I forgot about that. So I was like, wait, pop her back in
It's
because you need to tell people how to support you and what you do.
Okay, so on Instagram, I'm at KSBS Studios. That's my school page. You can look at what I have going on with the school. But if you want to follow more of me, you can follow me on Facebook at Kendra Shavonne and on TikTok at Kendra Shavonne.
Okay. All right, you guys heard it. Support her. She has a school, and she's going to be teaching us how to be modest in our apparel and still get a man. Okay, because we want one, so don't say that you don't. Okay,
And you're
because
more comfortable.
and be more comfortable, cute and Christian and cute.
Cute and
You
Christian.
know?
And
Okay,
if
now
you're not
we're going.
Christian, you still don't need to have your butt all out. Nobody needs to see that.
That's true, but you know. They kind of like it. I'm gonna tell you the truth, and then I gotta pop you out.
Mhm.
I am on a mission to get a 4-pack. Okay, I don't want a 6-pack because that's not realistic for me right now. But I do want a 4-pack. Okay, and because I want to wear a crop top in the summer. That is my goal at my age right now. This is what I want. I want to wear a crop top, and
Okay.
everybody's like, "Is that is that holy?" And I was like, Jesus said I can. He said I
Yeah.
could do
If a sliver of belly is going to take somebody down, I don't know what to tell you.
it. It's not,
You
I'm
can
not
wear,
wearing the V-neck and the crop top. It is
yeah, just a crop, just a little sliver,
just a little,
little sliver.
that's it. One time,
Yeah.
please. You get what I'm saying? So I said I had to
Listen.
keep my cortisol levels down. Like anybody that's trying to make me mad, my cortisol gonna
Yeah.
stay down. My 4-pack.
At this point, Jamie, I just don't want my stomach to hang. Like I'm cool. I'm cool. It don't have to be a 4-pack. It don't even have to be flat. I just don't need it to hang. Okay.
Somebody in the comments one time said, "But I love fupas." You know, they're like, men love fupas. I'm just
Listen, I got something for you, but like just, it don't have to be washed for. Look, I'm 40. Okay, it's the reason why you start gaining weight when you get older. It's because your bones get kind of weak. You're more prone to fall. You need something to bounce when you fall. Okay.
stop.
That is my logic.
Okay,
That
because
is
I
a
was like, not a
Kendraism.
medical book at all. Like that,
I'm telling you,
but that made me feel
it
better.
makes
I
sense. You start gaining weight when you get older because your bones get more feeble. You're more susceptible of falling.
so you
You
need.
need cushion. That's why these old people be breaking hips and stuff, trying to be skinny and stuff.
Okay, I'm pulling you out now.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Thank you guys for joining us for I Wasn't Taught to Be a Wife podcast. I hope that you thoroughly enjoyed that. I did. I actually, this didn't feel as much as an interview as my other interviews did. It felt like I was talking to a friend, and I'm sorry, but you're going to get all the truth here. And hopefully this helps you get prepared for future marriage or to be a better wife or just even better in your relationships, because you might not want to get married. You might just want a long-term relationship. And so Miss Shavonne, well, now that's not her last name though. So Kendra Shavonne is all I'm going to say, but that's not her last name, is available for you guys. She gave you her socials and they will be in the comments for you. Reach out to her, support her, like and share and subscribe to her channels. And I will see you guys the next time. All right, y'all.